Mecari is a newish marketplace that's growing, and it has some advantages over selling on eBay or Amazon. So in the past year, I've had over 560 sales, and that's just occasionally adding items here and there. So I'm going to show you 6 tips to help you have success too. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, Brad here, and as a 30-year comic collector and a 8-year comic shop owner, my mission is to help you elevate your passion for comics. So today I'm going to give you 6 tips for having success selling on Mecari. So let's go ahead and get started with tip number 1. So tip number 1 is to actually make a plan. So you need to decide what it is you really want to sell and then do a little research. So you can go ahead and look on Mecari. And Mecari, it shows you the both the sold and current listings all in one place. You can look at sold eBay listings. You can also look on sites like Go Collect and Cover Price and get the F&B value of the books. So just research, see how much they're going for, and also see how often they're selling too. So another thing to keep in mind is that Mecari users can make an offer. So make sure you leave some extra padding in your price. You may want to price it a little bit higher just to make room for those offers so you can go down a little bit. Now, another thing I like to do as far as planning is what I call time blocking. And that's really something that's been huge in my professional life too, just in my business, is you just time block an amount of time where you just laser focus on that one task with no distractions. So you block out that time just for working on Mecari. And no distractions, so close out any other tabs. If you're working on your laptop, close out all the other tabs. Don't answer emails. You can deactivate alerts. Have your phone away from you. You may want to close your door if you're in an office or somewhere like that. Put up a sign, do not disturb. So just be laser focused where that is all you're doing. So like for Mecari, I can do 1 hour for, let's say, 25 items, and that includes taking the pictures and then actually uploading and creating the listings. So tip number 2 is to take quality photos, and a lot of photos if necessary. Mecari is very visual, and most users use the app on their phone, so you really need some great photos to stand out. I actually have a dedicated area in my basement, and it's a ping pong table, which is great for taking pictures. So I mostly sell comics and shirts, and that's leftover stock from the Rock Shop, which was the store that I had. And it's just perfect for laying my items flat and for taking pictures and for really shipping and everything. It's my little section there. Now, for a comic book, if it's a cheaper book, I'll just stick with one picture. But make sure it's good. And by good, I mean it needs to be naked, not in a bag or board. Make sure there's no light glare, because when you lay it flat, the overhead light is going to create a big ass glare on it. So you need to make sure that you, if it is flat and if there's a glare, you can usually kind of get your phone, angle it over it a bit. Usually that will kind of get rid of it, or you can find an angle where you don't have the glare. And worst case, you can have it kind of like leaning or standing up. Make sure you have a solid color background in the background though. Now, if it's an expensive book, then you need to take a lot of pics. So that's close-ups of the spine, close-ups of the corners. You need to open it up, do the interior. Then make sure you do the back cover. And then just any kind of defects, if you have like any little dings or things like that, make sure that you get pics of that. So we're saying is you don't want to have a customer that wants to return it. Now, I also have a plain spiral notebook right next to where I'm taking the pictures. So that way when I take a picture, I actually note what the item is and what condition it's in, and then any special defects, like if it's maybe the cover is detached at a staple, or maybe the centerfold is loose, or maybe the book is signed, or is it a newsstand or direct edition. Okay, and then for shirts, always notate the size of the shirt. Take your pictures, and then you have your notebook cataloging everything. Now for tip number 3, I actually have a method to my madness with this, so stick with me. Tip 3 is create your listings on your laptop or desktop. Now you can totally list straight from your phone, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But there's going to be a lot of typing, and you'll be typing with your thumbs, the product title, uploading the pics, typing in the description, typing tags, etc., etc., etc. etc., etc. Now for me, it's just a lot easier to do this with all of my fingers using a keyboard. Okay, so make sure you do it on a desktop or a laptop, unless you're just doing one or two, and then it's fine doing it on your phone. But it's just easier for me in one with the big keyboard and just where I can copy and paste stuff as well. Tip number 4, optimize your image position. So what I mean by that is that when you upload into Mecari, it's going to kind of auto crop it. And if it's a comic, it may crop out part of the title or some area that you want displayed. You need to make sure that your image looks the best because, again, most people are viewing these on their phone. So your image has to be really good. You can move it around, crop it, and then if you're uploading multiple pictures, you need to make sure that your main image is the main image. Because when you do a bulk upload, it doesn't upload in the order that you select the pictures. It'll just put them in random order. So worst thing is you upload it and then you have like just one corner of the book or the back cover or something like that as your main image. So you may have to rearrange, kind of drag and drop until you get the correct main image. Tip number 5, don't be lazy about the description. Now I work with 7- and 8-figure e-com stores, and even with these big brands, the description is one thing that people can struggle with. So it's really important. The first thing is you need to have some keywords. So when a customer is searching for your item, they find it because Mecari will actually look into your description and pull out any keywords so they know whether to display it or not. Don't keyword spam it. Make it readable. But you do need to have some keywords in your item. Now, the most important thing is to tell the customers what they need to know or what they really want to know. And just think of it answering any questions they may have before they even ask it. For comics, what condition is it? What main defects does it have? Does it ship bagged and boarded? Okay, and this is where you can also sell your unique value propositions. And what I mean by that is you can say, I ship same day before 2 p.m. EST, or free shipping on all items, or all comics ship within Gemini mailers. Okay, those are things that are kind of unique to you. Like I've owned a store, you can mention that these were my retail stock, just anything that kind of makes you unique and stand out and that is important to your customer. Tip number 6, do not use the Mecari suggested price. It is garbage. Just don't do it. It sucks. It's very inaccurate. There are plenty of times I had like a really low suggested price of like $10 or something. I ended up selling it for like over $20 within a few days. So they're totally almost like random. Their AI for that is not that good. Instead, you need a price depending on what your goals are. Now, are you okay with taking a lower price for a quick sell? Or are you okay with waiting it out longer to get a higher price? Also, are you going to use Mecari shipping, or are you going to use just regular shipping and shipping it yourself? Personally, I do kind of a mix of both. And when I ship myself, I use a website called Pirate Ship, which is really good. It's got low rates, but if you're going to do that, you need to pad the price, especially if you're offering free shipping. It's always best, really, in e-com to offer free shipping if you can. But with the Mecari fees, because you've got around 13% for Mecari, and then on top of that, looking at an average cost of about $4 for shipping, and then if you're using like Gemini mailers, that's another 50 cents or however much you paid for them. So you need to factor all of that in when you're pricing your item. So a final note about Mecari. With close to 600 transactions, I've never had one return or exchange. It's unbelievable. eBay, Amazon, you get a ton. And really with eBay, I had like a lot of fraudulent, well, not a lot, but I've had a few fraudulent returns. So with Mecari, never had one. I've only had one negative feedback, and that was like a crazy customer. So what can you do about that? So it's very seller friendly, and it's also very buyer friendly, as Mecari typically carries most of the burden of any risk that you have with either your order being a buyer or as a seller. At the end of the day, you just got to get started. If you're already selling and have other ideas or tips that are working, leave them in the comments. And if you like this video, click that like button and make sure you smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos.